Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Duplex Built to Rent. My name is Juan Cristales, and I am sharing with you all of the processes and steps it takes to build a duplex from the ground up. I think one of the things that scares most people is that they don't know or understand the steps. And what I'm here to do is just break open all the myths, break away all of the myths, all the issues that you may have with new construction, and get you to see and understand that it is a more predictable product than fix and flipping houses ever will be. So today we're going to be talking about the 4 stages of sheetrock. So let's get into it here. The very first phase that we have in the sheetrock is going to be hanging the sheetrock. That's the very, very first stage. That just basically means someone has to take the pieces of sheetrock and put them onto the pieces of wood. Now, if you notice here, I want to show you some of the stuff that these guys do. Now, I don't hang any of the sheetrock myself. That is not my job. That is really these guys, we hire that stuff out. So as you can see here, they're marking basically the center point of some of the studs that are already in the ceiling joists. That way it makes it easier for them to, whenever they're hanging it, they can just quickly follow the line of where it needs to be so they can, screw in the sheetrock. So that's awesome. That's the way those guys do it. Let me show you a video. Okay, so we got a video here. Now, this is on the left-hand side, we basically have the sheetrock is just hung up. Here we have the tape and the float. So the tape is just a big piece of tape that goes across, and then they're floating these little pieces here. I'm going to explain to you here in a second what that means. So the first phase is going to be the hanging. Then we do the taping and floating. Then it gets sanded down. That's number 3. And then the 4th step is going to be the texture. So right now we're doing the tape and float is next. I'm going to show you another video here in a second, but I'm going to explain to you why you see these lines that are going up and down right here. So let's move on here and continue with the video. So as you can see here, just a little small personal pet peeve of mine here. We have the air conditioning. I'm sorry, that is the ductwork for, excuse me. This is the dryer vent, and then this is the washer and dryer, the wastewater that comes out of the washer and dryer. So this is one of the things that's a little bit of a pet peeve for me because I always have to deal with it. I always have to remind the plumber, I don't know why, but I always have to remind him that we need to have these holes cut out. I know that right now he doesn't have them cut out, but sometimes they forget. And, when you connect the clean water, right, the clean water comes out this way, and then the wastewater has to go somewhere. And so this plastic here is actually very thick, and it's not so easy to just pop out. So we need to make sure that the plumber does that for us. These guys, I don't know, for some reason they always forget that one piece. But anyway, moving on. So here's exactly what I'm showing you. For the tape and float, right? So we're going to be putting on the edge here a rounded corner, because that's what I like to do on all of the duplexes that we're building, is little rounded corners instead of like just a hard corner, like a 90-degree corner. I don't like that. I like the round corner that goes around the side. So the reason why you see those vertical lines on this stuff here is because you see this massive divot. See that divot whenever they're screwing in or they're hammering in? Sometimes they hammer in stuff because they need it to adhere better. Especially on the edges or small pieces like this. This is a very small piece here. So they'll hammer it in. And so whenever they're doing it, you see how huge that divot is. So they basically just put a little bit of mud on there, and then they skim over it with the spatula, right? And then that is what's called floating. They just float that little piece there. And so that's why you see on some of the other walls what looks like just little vertical stripes. So you can see them here. I'm just showing you guys the divots. And so you want to eliminate that. You see these vertical ones here on the right-hand side? You want to eliminate those, because what happens is whenever you go to texture, so if you ever look at your own house, you see that it seems like it's a consistency all the way throughout the entire wall, from top to bottom, left to right, all the way across. The way you achieve that is by ensuring that all this stuff is done correctly with that tape and float. And then after that, it's going to get sanded down. So now we are back at the float here for this one. And as you can see, they're doing the tape first. All the places where the pieces of sheetrock come together so that there's a seamless transition, they're putting that piece of tape on there. I always check behind the doors there, because somebody always forgets. So it's looking good. Now, it looks a little bit sloppy and messy, but they're going to sand all of this down. They're going to sand all of the walls completely down to ensure that it's a smooth surface before they do the texture. All right, guys, so that's all of the updates that I have for you on this 106 Runnels property. And remember, there's going to be 4 phases to the sheetrock phase. The first one is going to be to hang it. The second one is going to be to tape and float. Then we're going to sand it down. And then after it gets sanded down, it is going to be textured on. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you soon.